Have you ever been sitting in your favorite chair, maybe with a cup of tea, looking out the window, and a thought just quietly settles in? A thought that maybe life has started to wind down. That the most exciting chapters are behind you, and what's left is just, well, waiting. If you've ever felt that, even for a moment, I want you to know you are not alone. It's a feeling that can sneak up on us, especially when the house gets a little too quiet, or the days start to feel a little too similar. But what if I told you that this feeling, as real as it seems, might be one of the biggest illusions of our later years? What if this time, right now, isn't an ending at all, but a unique and powerful beginning that you are perfectly prepared for? You see, there are certain realizations, powerful lessons, that if we truly grasp them in our 60s, 70s, or 80s, can completely transform the landscape of our lives. They can turn a period of waiting into a period of profound growth and deep satisfaction. In our time together today, we're going to explore 5 of these life-changing lessons. This isn't about adding more to your to-do list or making you feel like you have to run a marathon. It's about a shift in perspective. It's about realizing that the rules of the game have changed, and you now hold a better, wiser hand than you might think. So, let's ease into this conversation, you and I, and talk about the first of these powerful shifts. The first lesson, and this might be the most liberating one, is the realization that you no longer need to prove yourself to anyone. Think about that for a moment. For decades, our lives were so often defined by what was expected of us. We had to prove we were good employees, reliable providers, devoted parents, and caring friends. We worried about what the neighbors thought, about keeping up appearances, about meeting deadlines and societal milestones. That was a heavy suitcase to carry, wasn't it? But now you have reached a glorious summit. You have already lived a life of responsibility and contribution. The resume is complete. The race is run. And what's left is the beautiful, unburdened freedom of simply being you. This isn't about giving up. It's about letting go of a weight you were never meant to carry forever. It means you can wear the comfortable clothes you love without worrying if they're fashionable. It means you can say no to an invitation without crafting a perfect excuse. It means your worth is no longer tied to your productivity, but to your presence. Your opinions, your preferences, your simple joys, they are all valid now, simply because they are yours. This freedom allows you to pour your energy, not into meeting external expectations, but into what truly, genuinely nourishes your soul. And that leads us so naturally into the second lesson, which is about redefining what it means to be productive. For so long, we've been taught that being productive means doing. It means checking tasks off a list, earning a paycheck, building something tangible. And that is a wonderful thing. But when that structure of external work and constant doing falls away, it can leave a void that feels a lot like idleness. We can feel guilty for not being busy. But what if we flip that entirely on its head? What if, in this chapter, true productivity isn't about what you do, but about who you become and how you feel? Let me give you an example. Is sitting in the garden for an hour, simply noticing the way the light filters through the leaves, a waste of time? Or is it the profoundly productive work of cultivating peace? Is reading a book that stirs your imagination a lesser activity than balancing a checkbook? Or is it the essential work of feeding your mind and spirit? Your new productivity can be measured in moments of contentment, in a good laugh that fills the room, in the patience you extend to a grandchild or to yourself, in the quiet appreciation of a memory. This is the work of the soul. It's about investing in your inner well-being. So, when you find yourself simply sitting and reflecting, don't see it as doing nothing. See it as the vital work of integrating your life's experiences, of finding meaning, of becoming a deeper, more whole human being. Your purpose now is your well-being, your joy, your peace. And that is the most important job you will ever have. Now, as we start to let go of those old definitions of success and busyness, we create space for something else, something that often gets neglected when we're busy proving ourselves and being productive in the traditional sense. And that is the third powerful lesson, which is about the profound importance of nurturing your physical home, your body, but in a completely new and gentle way. This isn't about fighting aging or chasing a youthful ideal. It's about forming a partnership with the body you have today. Our bodies have carried us for decades. They've been through illnesses, recoveries, long days, and sleepless nights. They deserve our deepest gratitude, not our criticism. Think of your body not as a problem to be solved, but as a loyal companion that needs your kindness. This shift from criticism to care changes everything. It's the difference between forcing yourself to go on a grueling walk because you should, and going for a gentle stroll because it feels good to move and breathe the fresh air. It's the difference between a restrictive diet and choosing foods that make you feel vibrant and nourished from the inside out. This is about listening. When you wake up in the morning, instead of rushing out of bed, take a moment. Ask your body, what do you need today? Maybe it needs a good, long stretch. Maybe it needs a slower pace. Maybe it just needs a glass of cool water. This isn't about a rigid fitness plan, it's about a daily conversation. It's about finding movements that bring you joy. Maybe it's gardening, or swimming, or simply swaying to your favorite music in the living room. It's about recognizing that every small, loving act of care for your body, a nutritious meal, a good night's sleep, a few minutes of gentle movement, is an act of self-respect. And this respectful partnership with your own physical self is the very foundation that allows you to enjoy all the other freedoms we're talking about. We've covered some significant ground already, haven't we? Letting go of the need to prove ourselves, redefining productivity as inner work, and learning to partner with our bodies in a spirit of kindness. These are the first steps in a truly dramatic change. And as we get comfortable with these new ideas, it naturally opens the door to the next set of lessons, which delve even deeper into the heart and soul of what makes this time of life so uniquely rich. It's interesting, isn't it? When we start to let go of that heavy suitcase of other people's expectations and begin to treat our own bodies with a little more kindness, something quite remarkable begins to happen. We create a new kind of space, a quiet in our minds, that allows us to hear our own thoughts more clearly. It's like the static of a radio station finally tuning out, and what's left is the clear, distinct signal of what truly matters to us. Not to our parents, not to our children, not to society, but to the person we are right now. And this brings us to the fourth lesson, which is perhaps the most profound of all, learning the difference between being alone and being lonely. For so much of our lives, we were surrounded by the noise of a busy household, by the demands of colleagues, by the constant buzz of being needed. When that noise fades, the silence can feel loud. It can feel like loneliness. We can start to believe that a quiet house is an empty house, and an empty house means an empty life. But what if that silence isn't a void to be filled, but a gift to be opened? Loneliness is a feeling of lack, a sadness for connection that isn't there. But solitude is a choice. It's the rich, fertile ground of your own company. It's in these quiet moments that you can finally hear the whisper of your own soul. Think about it. When was the last time you had a long, uninterrupted conversation with yourself? Not to worry or to plan, but just to be. To sit with a memory and truly feel it, to follow a thought wherever it leads, to simply observe the world outside your window without any agenda. This is where creativity is often reborn. Maybe it's picking up a paintbrush again after 50 years, not to create a masterpiece, but for the sheer joy of seeing color on a canvas. Maybe it's writing down your stories for your grandchildren, not as a history lesson, but as a gift of your essence. Maybe it's just sitting and allowing yourself to feel a deep sense of gratitude for the simple fact of being alive. Loneliness aches for someone else to complete you. Solitude is the joyful discovery that you are already whole. And when you cultivate that wholeness, that comfort in your own company, the connections you do choose to make with others become richer, more meaningful, because they come from a place of abundance, not need. And this deep sense of inner wholeness, this comfort in our own skin, leads us so beautifully to the fifth and final lesson, which is about the power of legacy. Now, when many of us hear the word legacy, we think of wills and inheritances, of money and property passed down. And while that is one form of it, it's the smallest part. The legacy I'm talking about is not about what you leave to people, it's about what you leave in them. Your true legacy is not a line in a will, it's a line in a story your grandchildren tell. It's not the balance in a bank account, it's the memory of your laughter at the dinner table. It's the recipe for your apple pie, the silly saying you always repeated, the way you always had time to listen. It's the resilience you modeled during hard times, the kindness you showed a stranger, the love you gave so freely. These are the imprints we leave on the hearts of others, and they are the only things that truly last. Understanding this completely changes our focus. It means that every single day is an opportunity to build your legacy. It's not something you fret over and formalize, it's something you live, organically, through your actions and your attitude. A patient word with a cashier is part of your legacy. A phone call to a friend who is feeling down is part of your legacy. The forgiveness you offer, the joy you share, the wisdom you drop in a casual conversation, these are the golden threads that are woven into the tapestry of your legacy. It shifts your attention from what you've accumulated to the energy you're radiating right now, today. And the most beautiful part? This kind of legacy work isn't strenuous. It's the natural, graceful outflow of a life lived with awareness and love. It's about being fully present in your own life so that your presence becomes a gift in the lives of others. Now, we've journeyed through these 5 powerful realizations together, from letting go of the need to prove ourselves, to redefining our purpose, to caring for our bodies with kindness, to finding richness in solitude, and finally, to understanding the profound power of the legacy we build each day. These aren't just ideas, they are the seeds of a new way of being. And as we let these lessons settle in our hearts, the natural question becomes, how do we bring it all together? How do we weave these threads into the daily fabric of our lives to create something truly new, vibrant, and deeply satisfying? And so, we arrive here, at a place of bringing it all together. We've walked through these 5 realizations, from the freedom of no longer needing to prove yourself, to the quiet power of a legacy built on love. It can feel like a lot to take in, can't it? A whole new way of looking at the world, and at yourself. You might be sitting there thinking, this sounds wonderful, but where do I even begin? And that, right there, is the most important question of all. The answer is simpler than you might think. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in a single day. In fact, that kind of pressure is exactly what we're learning to move away from. The real magic, the true transformation, happens not in one giant leap, but in a series of small, gentle steps. It's in the quiet moments where you consciously choose kindness for your body over criticism. It's in the deep breath you take when you feel an old habit of people-pleasing creeping in, and you decide, no, not today. It's in the afternoon where you once might have felt guilty for simply sitting and reflecting, but now you recognize it as the vital work of your soul. Think of it not as a checklist, but as a new lens through which to view your everyday experiences. That minor frustration in the morning, the jar that won't open, the misplaced pair of glasses, it's no longer just an annoyance. It becomes a tiny practice ground for patience, for laughter at life's little ironies, for treating yourself with the same gentle understanding you'd offer a dear friend. Your daily walk isn't just about getting steps in, it's an act of partnership with your body and an opportunity to witness the beauty of the world right outside your door. A phone call with an old friend isn't just a chat, it's a conscious act of legacy building, weaving another thread of connection and love. This is the great secret of this chapter of our lives. The dramatic change we've been talking about isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about a shift in perspective. It's about taking the very same ingredients of your life, the quiet mornings, the relationships, the memories, even the challenges, and seeing them in a new light. A kinder light. A more appreciative light. It's about realizing that you are not winding down, you are deepening. You are not fading, you are focusing on what truly shines. So, as we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. You have spent a lifetime building, providing, and caring for others. You have earned this time. You have earned the right to peace, to joy, to the simple, profound pleasure of your own company. This isn't a time of waiting. This is your time of blooming, in your own unique and beautiful way. I would love to hear from you. What was the one realization that resonated most with you today? Or perhaps you have a story of your own about finding freedom or purpose in this chapter of life. Share it in the comments below. Your experience could be the very thing that inspires someone else to see their own life in a new way. If this conversation felt like a warm and helpful chat, if it gave you a little spark of hope or a new idea, then please do give this video a like. It helps others, just like you, to find it. And if you'd like to continue this journey of discovery, of finding joy and purpose in every stage of life, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the channel. We have so many more conversations to share. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, the most beautiful part of your story is the one you are writing right now, today. So go easy on yourself, be kind to that wonderful soul of yours, and never, ever underestimate the power you still hold to create a life filled with meaning and contentment. Here's to you, and to the incredible journey that is still unfolding.